there, I'm Cher, and this is Diary of a Pen Nerd. Actually, on the day that this will be posted, it will be May 30th. And May 30th is actually the 1-year anniversary of this channel. 1 year ago, I posted a video talking about pens that I had been gifted for my high school graduation. I actually have them here. I wasn't planning that. That's weird. But I got Kaweco Brass Sport, which is this one. And I also got a Kaweco Hello Kitty pen. And those are the two pens I got for my high school graduation, and I made a video kind of unboxing them, and have been making videos pretty much ever since, with, you know, several long hiatuses for various reasons. But, you know, I've really enjoyed this and getting to, you know, contribute and participate more in the fountain pen community online, and I've, you know, really appreciated all of the support that I've gotten. I think we're now at somewhere around 600 subscribers, which like totally blows my mind that, you know, there's 600 people who, you know, want to listen to me talk about pens, you know. And it's like, I don't produce high quality videos, you know. I have one camera angle, I don't have a light, you know, I'm barely editing or anything, and it's like, people really want to sit down and watch me talk about pens? They do. And, you know, that's so exciting for me. So I'm really excited to see where this continues to take me. And I just, like, could not be more grateful to everyone for, you know, where I'm at now. So very fun. And today, being the day, I'm actually filming this on the 29th. So being May 29th, June is right around the corner. And coincidentally, I am also just about finished with my current journal. I only have a couple pages left, but I'm just about finished in this one. And there's, I was having a couple of thoughts, and I came up with a little project experiment for the month of June that I wanted to share with everyone. So I was thinking, in this journal and several of the journals I've had before this one, I have a very rigid structure, which is the date and day of the week at the top, and then a Dear Diary style entry talking about, you know, my day, my thoughts and feelings, you know, events that happened, and then at some point I just end it whenever I feel like I don't have anything else to say, or I run out of time, or I get tired, or whatever. And then most of the time I'll sign my name at the end. And if I'm using lots of different ink colors, I'll usually include what ink I'm used. So that's the way I've styled my journal entries now for several years. And it's practical, it's functional, it works. But I wanted to try and do something a little bit different for summertime, since I'm out of school and have a little bit more time on my hands, at least right now. And so I have more time to play around in my journal, and I have some ideas as to what I want to do. So I came up with the idea of, and forgive me for the cheesy alliteration, Journal June, which for me is basically just a prompt list of different things that I could do in my journal to make it different or more interesting than what I have been doing. So I came up with this prompt list, and so I have outside the house, which basically just means journal literally anywhere other than my room, you know, whether that's at the library or a park or a cafe somewhere, you know, just as long as it's not in my usual place of journaling. A pop of color to, now that one's pretty self-explanatory, incorporate color. Beyond just like whatever ink I'm using, I guess. Word of the day, like if I had to pick one word to describe my entire day or whatever, that's that one. And then talk about why. Glue in or scrapbook. I sometimes will glue things into this book and some of my other books, but not usually. And for glue in or scrapbook, I think that would just be really fun to play around with. Handwriting style, I usually just print. Print is my go-to, but you know, I would be interested in journaling in cursive, or that's about the only one I can think of, but just cursive. Change that up. Poem or quote of the day would be like if I went into my poetry folder on Pinterest and picked one and thought about, you know, why it was meaningful to me, or that kind of reflection, which I know also could go in like a commonplace book, and I'm working on a commonplace book, but I think it would also just be interesting to include in my journal. Incorporate art is also pretty self-explanatory, I feel, just, you know, something other than words. And then textures, which could also kind of tie in with scrapbook, I think. But yeah, that's my prompt list. At first I was thinking I'll assign each of them a number and use a number generator to pick one out for the week. And this is the prompt that I'm going to be trying all week long. I actually don't think I'm going to do that because I like all of these prompts, and there's not, how many is it? 8 weeks in the month of June. I could extend it to be June and July. We'll see. But I like all of the prompts. And then the other thing I was thinking is, like, if there's a day that I'm really not feeling one of the prompts, I don't want to force myself to do it. You know, then it's not fun. So I'm thinking, you know, every day I'll go through and I'll pick a prompt. And this way I could actually pick, you know, multiple. I could do handwriting style and scrapbook and outside the house, or, you know, whatever. And, you know, really let my creativity dictate what I'm doing. So I think that'll be pretty fun. And the journal I have picked out is this one. Oh, it's decently small. You know, there's my hand. And it's made of handmade paper. So if you've ever handled handmade paper, you kind of know what that texture is. I did in the back. Oh no. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, I missed a page. I'm supposed to do this on the very back page, but that's okay. I did in the back experiment with some marker and fountain pen ink to see how it would handle, and it handled good. You know, I'm not even sure that I would call it feathering, but the paper is just like super absorbent, which will be interesting, but you know, it doesn't bleed through or anything, so that doesn't, you know, it's not awful to write on. So that's good. And I did count the pages to make sure there would be enough pages, because I didn't want to be like, oh, this is my journal for the month of June and then run out of pages. If it goes into July in this journal, that's fine. I just didn't want to split up the month of June for this project. So I have the prompt list. I'll probably just keep it in the journal like that. And I like that it's small enough that I can carry it around with me. But there's that. And then my goals for the experiment is less rigidity in my structure, and to be able to have fun and experiment with new styles. And then I also want to build a habit and make this, you know, something that I'm doing every day. There we go. So that was my idea for journaling June. And then I think what I'll do is at the end of the month, I'll do like a recap to, you know, show you guys how it went. But there's my journaling experiment. Let me know what you think, and you know, how maybe, you know, is this something that you would be interested in doing? I don't know. But if you like this, you want to stick around, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will have the next chapter of my story out soon. Bye for now. Love, share.